Hi, John here from Selectronic, here with another video case study. Now, we are a year removed from the devastating bushfires that affected large parts of Victoria and New South Wales, and we've already shared stories about how it's affected people in those regions. But a story came across our desk late last year, along with some footage that we just had to share with you. So please do take a few minutes and watch. Okay, so I'm joined by Justin Bowden. Justin, thank you very much for your time. I guess the first thing is, could you tell us a bit more about your property up there in Kangaroo Valley and the system you put in place?
Yeah, thank you, John. So we're in Kangaroo Valley. We've got 40 acres there. It's about 10 minutes from town. It's partly wooded, partly open, beautiful views. It's a wonderful part of the world. And we're off-grid down there. So we've got our own rainwater and we needed a solar option as well. So we've got solar providing us power on site. We're a family of 4 kids and there were some great positives in being able to show them off-grid and how that operated. And it was a bit of a green thing as well, but it was fantastic. It was a good resilience piece to be able to demonstrate that we could live off-grid and provide the power that we needed. It makes you think about what you use in terms of power usage. It's fantastic.
So the setup you had solar panels on the house or on a container?
Yeah, so we had a separate shipping container that we did up as kind of the power unit. So that actually had its own solar panels there. And then that came back in. And the first install was a lead acid based system for battery storage and a 24 volt inverter based system.
I see. So the container housed all the equipment, the batteries, PV inverters, SP PRO inverters, that kind of thing.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. There was a degree of safety with doing it in that way. There was a degree of security to that system as well.
Gotcha. So walk us through the events of the bushfire itself. I mean, you've kindly provided us some quite amazing footage from your security cameras of the bushfires coming through. So could you just sort of walk us through that and what happened?
Yeah, so the Currawong bushfires, there was obviously some knowledge of that. There had been quite a few community discussions. Local council and the local emergency services had briefed people to be aware of the possibility of that. There was very little you could do. We were very worried about wind movement and the gusting of embers coming towards this location, coming up from the south. One of the first things that I did was get down and actually take all fuel loads off site. So all of your petrols and gases and things were removed. And then all you could do was secure things to make sure everyone was safe. So no one was on the property at the time. We removed all fuels and gases and then locked things down. The security system continued to operate. That allowed me to monitor the property and allowed me to evaluate what was occurring. That recorded the time at which the fire hit the property. That was preceded by very strong wind gusts. We saw the fire bounce about 12 to 20 kilometres up from the south on that afternoon and then hit the property. And really the most amount of damage occurred in about a 10-minute hit where the property was engulfed. And you'll see the results of that on buildings, equipment, trailers, as well as the equipment that was stored in the shipping container, just combusting and being affected by the heat.
Mm-hmm. Now, you also provided some additional footage that is quite powerful and which is what we really wanted to share with people. And that was of you going back to site and opening up the container and that was the first time you'd been back on site after the bushfires had passed through.
Yeah, so that was 3 days. There was quite a bit of risk in the following day, and even on 3 days after the fire, there was still a lot of smouldering. One area where I opened a shipping container, that actually went back up in flames as soon as I opened the doors, and that just brought the oxygen back into areas that had just been sitting on heat. The one that we'll refer to now, which is where the solar system was, also had some other equipment in there. All of that melted. All of that was completely written off. When we looked at the solar panels themselves, they had blown on the top of the roof, just heat, and all your cabling melted. In the actual container itself, the lithium batteries were still operating. The Selectronic Pro was still beeping away, providing a nice little glittering light, and which is quite unique given just how sparse the environment was on that particular day. Everything, no animals, no birds, an absolute moonscape, and this little thing just bleeping away, which gave you a sense of hope. It was sensational. But not only that, it actually gave me power on site to be able to recharge some of my equipment, which was absolutely sensational.
Hi, my name's Chris. I'm the service technician here at Selectronic, and I'm taking a look at the inverter from the Kangaroo Valley bushfires of January 2020. As you can see, the inverter reached temperatures of up to 108 degrees internally, and the batteries themselves reached temperatures of 68 degrees. The fire hit the container at around about 7:30 in the evening, and around about 9 o'clock is when the fire departed the area. Temperatures of both the batteries and the Selectronic SP PRO returned to normal after that. If we have a look at the battery performance during the height of the fire, we can see that the PowerPlus batteries performed very well. You can see on this part of the graph, this is normal operation, then the fire hit, and then after the fire had gone, the PowerPlus batteries returned to normal operation. In this graph, we can see the AC voltage output and the AC frequency output. Before the fire hit, which is denoted by this spike, everything was running normal, and after the fire had gone, the voltage and the frequency returned to normal. So in conclusion, it's very pleasing to see that the SP PRO and the PowerPlus batteries were able to withstand these extreme conditions and continue to supply electricity to this site once the fire had passed.
And I guess the SP Pro is playing its part in terms of powering the site and helping you with the rebuild process as well.
Still using it. It's still working very well. In fact, a month after the bushfires, we were able to provide our property to Blaze Aid, who did a lot of volunteer work in the area. And they were actually able to use that power system to provide their camp at that site. So it provided a number of purposes, not just for myself, but also other volunteer organisations that were able to come in. I think the other thing is we look at power as just simply being power, but in those situations, you forget how much of an enabler it is. And that is the ability to either convert from your 24 volt up to 240 and power a lot of your electric tools. The other one, though, is for us, because it is off-grid, actually to run a Telstra base station on location. So we don't have comms without power providing that location, which is really important for safety as well, so that we can continue to monitor issues on site and to coordinate getting people on site, getting work done. So comms were very important as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time, Justin. Best of luck with the rebuild, and we really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.